Hello friends, good afternoon all of you, and let's start. So I think that we people were talking about previously interview techniques. So in today's class, we people will try to complete this interview techniques. So I will share the screen. You people just stay connected. Okay, all right. So we will start. First of all, let me know if it is audible and visible. Everything is fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, good. So let's continue. So we're talking about perhaps many of the times we listen that particular candidate after facing an interview, he or she gets rejected. Okay, so have you ever thought that what might be the reason? What are the just let's try to understand that why might those candidates be getting rejections? So we'll try to understand. Here are some reasons. They're not all reasons, but some reasons that we people will try to understand, and we'll try to improve that in our interviews. We are not going to follow these things so that we may not get rejected in our interview. Okay. So you people are going to face interviews after let's say 3 years. Right now, you people have completed your first. Assume that you have completed your first year. Okay. And when you people will be in second year and third. Instead of three, I will just say there are only 2 years only, not three. 2 years. How 2 years? Because your first year is about to finish now. So therefore, you don't consider first year. So you have second year and your third year. So only 2 years you people have in your hand. Okay. And when you will be in final year, you people are going to face the interviews. So you don't consider that there is a lot of time that you people will get for preparation and so many things like this. So I will just recommend that every day you people think in such a way that you are preparing for your interviews. Every day you should feel that I'm taking a step ahead. Every day you should feel that I'm feeling confident. Every day you should feel that I'm improving my communication. So if you're preparing in this way, then only you people will just crack the interview when you people will be facing any interview of your dream company. Again, another point is that in which company I would like to work. So start thinking about the company, start finding information about the company, which are the companies in which I have chosen. If it is civil, if it is mechanical, if it is CNTC, if it is CSC, which are the companies in which I can be get a job, I can get enrolled, and then try to find more information about the company and what kind of employees they are just looking for, and what kind of skills are required for uh, working with such companies, and then what am I doing. If you're thinking like this way, I'm sure that you people will utilize your time, maximum time in working, improving on your skills and developing your personality. You'll not spend a lot of time on social media just watching comedy videos or keeping status and something like this. So I would like to tell you people, realize you people that these things are very important. So only 2 years, and 2 years will not understand when you people are going to uh, finish those 2 years because of this pandemic situation also. Nobody knows how long it is going to last and what is going to be in the future. Let's hope for positive. But by the time you people are going to face interviews, everything will be normal, and you people will have in the campus and face-to-face interviews you people are going to face. So that is the possibility, I think. So with this, let's try to understand that why candidates get rejected when they face an interview. So first of all, it says vague and irrelevant answers to the questions. So let's try to understand what is this vague answers. So vague answers mean that some question is asked to you. Let's say they're asking you that uh, how you handle your success or something like this, and you're talking something which is not clear. So vague means unclear. What is meaning of vague? Vague means unclear. So whatever you are saying, it is not clear to the committee. It is not clear to the interviewer. It is not clear. It is not understood by the next person. You're telling answer. Perhaps from your side, it may be right also, but from next side, from opposite side, what you're saying, it is not clear. They do not understand what you're trying to say. And if it is happening for more than 1, 2, 3 questions, in that case, your rejection is sure, because they will understand that candidate is not uh, having adequate knowledge, and so they may reject you. So be clear, whatever you are saying, everything, every sentence, every word which you are going to use, you should use it clearly. It should be clear to you as well as it should be clear to the next person also. So be clear. Then next it says irrelevant. Irrelevant answer means what? Not to the point. Okay. So suppose that question is asked to you about explain your strengths. So instead of just talking about your strengths, you're talking about what are the other something that which is not related to the strength. So question is something else and answer is something else. In that case, it becomes irrelevant. And if you're giving irrelevant answers, again, they'll consider that you did not understand the question well, and so they may think of rejecting you. So what you people can do? First of all, you try to be clear. Then next thing, you people have to listen question carefully, and then you people try to answer to the point. So what is question? This answer should be related to that question. It shouldn't be irrelevant. So that is one thing you people are expected to take care. Then we people will try to about understand next point, why candidates get rejected. Here you people will get another reasons, that it says very fidgety. So what is meaning of fidgety? Very fidgety means that very nervous or very restless. So meaning of fidgety is restless. Your body language shows that you are not comfortable. Your body language shows that you have a lot of fear. Your body language shows that you are not prepared. Your body language shows that you're not confident. If they observe you like this, and if your body language is showing like this, then of course you people are going to get rejected because of these reasons also. And when you people have such things, then there is little eye contact from your side. So what you're doing, you're trying to avoid eye contact. And I think that I have explained you that what is the meaning of when you maintain eye contact and when you do not make any eye contact. So what is the meaning considered? What they will understand when you maintain eye contact, they will understand that you're confident. Okay, they'll understand that you're prepared when you maintain eye contact. When you maintain eye contact, they will consider that you're bold. Bold in the sense that maybe professionally you're bold. When you maintain eye contact, it shows that you are confirmed, let's say. So what you're saying, that is confirmed. Okay. So these are some of the meanings. You're not telling that you're confident. You're not telling that you're prepared, but it is understood when you maintain eye contact. And see, if this is the case when you maintain eye contact, and if you are not maintaining eye contact, in that case, what can be understood? It shows that lack of confidence. It shows fear. You have a lot of fear. It shows that you are unprepared. It shows that you are shy, you are nervous. It shows that you are lying. It means not talking truth. You have confusion, another. So many meanings will be, negative meanings will be conveyed when you are not maintaining eye contact. So if it is little eye contact, they will consider all those things, and then they may reject you. Okay. So apart from that, it shows that nervous mannerism. So what is nervous mannerism? You are restless. You are sitting in front of them, but you're feeling a lot of fear. That time, what happens that your heart rates, or let's say your pulse rates, go high. and there are some candidates who are feeling sweating also, and because of these things they are not able to perform well. Whatever answers they know, even they are not able to tell the correct answers also, and they will understand that there is nervous mannerism. And then what happens that the students try to neglect the interviewer, and then they just try to play with their hair. So sometimes there is pen in their hand, so what they do, just they play with their pen or pencil, or let's say there is something in their hand and they play with their things only. Apart from that, they start looking at their nails only, or they will play with their nails also, or sometimes they bite nails also in front of the interviewer. They just start biting nails as well. Apart from that, that entire indicate that you are not in the interview, and immediately these people will understand because they have experience of, let's say, 8, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, 30 years experience in this field. So immediately they understand, identify the what kind of candidate you are in front of them. So your body language and behavior, it is going to show, it is going to tell you everything that is about you. So try to avoid such negative body language, maintain eye contact, don't play with your hair, don't bite nails, and you can avoid your rejection by following these things. Then next will be people will try to understand lack of sincerity. Okay, so lack of sincerity, it indicates that what kind of person you are. If you're arrogant, if you're not talking properly, or if you're rude, if you're not sincere, and if you're talking, if you're showing attitude, I know everything, okay, or if you're just trying to prove that you're superior than others, so there is lack of sincerity. Apart from that, there is language or your tone of voice, that also indicates what kind of person you are. If you're talking in a rough tone, that indicates that you don't need this job. Okay, so you try to be polite, you try to talk in a soft voice, you try to talk in a humble way, be polite and be sincere. That will show that it needs, you need a job. Okay, so try to be sincere, honest, polite when you people face an interview. And then here is another reason that why candidates get rejected in the interview, and this is utter superficial remarks to impress the interviewer. So what does it mean, utter superficial remarks? So superficial remarks means that you don't have deep knowledge. It indicates that you don't have deep knowledge. So when you speak, you show that you have deep knowledge, but it appears, it seems that you don't have deep knowledge. That is uttering superficial remarks. You're trying to impress the interviewer by saying such a wonderful words only, but in reality, but fact is that you don't know anything. If you're talking about the project, so what you're doing that I have done this and I have done that, and I found out this and I connected this and I work like this. So your words are showing that you're working a lot, but your behavior and your answers, they're telling that you don't have knowledge, you don't know anything about these things. So there is a difference between what you speak and what you have as far knowledge is concerned or skills are concerned. They will immediately understand that you are trying to impress the interviewer only, and there you are going to get rejection. Okay, so try to avoid those things in your interview, and you may not be getting rejected. Apart from that, it is not that only these are things, there are much more things that you people need to take care about, but at least these things will help you to avoid your rejection, and you behave in a positive way and try to just work out with let's say positive. Okay, is it clear? Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So we'll go to the next slide. And this is for everybody. This is not just only for few students, because I see in each of my class, there are frequently only few candidates who are active and they're responding. So all other students, everybody, you people have to face interviews, and I expect that everybody should feel that I should not get rejected in the interview, in any interview, in fact. And I'm sure that you prepare. I'm sure that if you just start working on interviews, group discussions, etc., you may not be getting rejections in your interviews. Okay, so start working on your skills, because this is part of your professional life. After 2 years, I have told you that after 2 years all you people are going to face interviews, and 2 year span is not, I will say, a big span, big time for you people. It is very short span, because you people always, you're busy. You'll be busy with your subjects only. You're going to study whatever your, each semester you have at least 4, 5, minimum 5 subjects, and you people have to go through its notes and exams and practicals and journals and everything. So hardly you're going to pay attention to your communication, your let's say skills and soft skills and something like. But you people have to realize, you have to make your goal. Let's say you have to make your short-term goal that you wanted to improve your English communication first. Then you wanted to know how to participate into group discussion. Then you wanted to how to write your resumes, how to participate into interviews. So this should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goals that you people need to write it down. Don't just think. Right now you may be thinking, yes, I'm going to definitely improve my communication. I'm going to definitely learn about group discussion. Don't just learn, be part of this discussion. And group discussion, I have told you that you make groups and practice it and so many things I have told you people. But I'm not sure how many students are following. You people can just uh, I will say, raise your hands, those who are following some in groups. You are just doing something about improving your communication, whatever it may be. So you people send me to chat box, or you can raise your hands that you're doing something for improving your English communication, and as well as you wanted to know how to participate into group discussion and interviews. Those who are doing preparing, they should message me into chat box. Let me know how many students. Right now 45 students are there out of 68. So out of that 45, how many are really worried about their future and career and goal oriented? Let me check. No one is there. Nobody's doing anything. Does it mean like this? Okay, fine. So at least there is only one candidate in entire class who is trying to improve English communication and concerned about career. Let's say, don't just take it like you people were learning in schools. You wanted to just pass the exam. So here you don't bother about exams, I will say, because anyway you people are going to pass your exams. If you have come so far, if you have completed your 10th, if you have completed your 12th, I'm sure that you are going to complete your BTech as well. There is no question, there is no doubt. But what about when you complete your graduation? What next? Major question, major concern is about this. And what is required there? There is not only marks. So you don't just work on, if you are very clever in getting good marks, that is fine. But if you're not working about your communication, if you're not working about, let's say, skills, and then you're going to increase your difficulties. And then you may blame your, let's say, teachers that we did not get good teachers. You may blame your college that our college was not so good. You blame the situation. You blame your parents. You blame every other situation and people that was not good. But what you are doing right now, that will decide your future. So whatever you are right now, that is the result of what you did in previously. So whatever you are doing right now, its result will come after 2 years. As far as placements are concerned, your, it's consider your career is concerned, what you will be, where you will be, what you will be doing, how much you will be earning. Okay, so these should be questions in your mind. Where I will be after 3 years, where I will be after 4 years, what I will be doing after 4 years, how much I will be earning after 4 years, with whom I will be there. So some things that will just project your studies, that will project your let's say if you are wasting time right now, these questions will take you on the track and people will get another uh, just let's say inspiration or motivation that you are working on it. So try to just be on the track. Don't just spend your time just uh, anywhere and doing useless things, but work on these things. Anyway, come to the point. I was talking about that how and what people can do as far as our interviews are concerned. So thank you, Asmita, for replying that. I hope that you're doing something. And those who are doing, for them also, you need to come out and you need to express yourself, because until and unless you're not expressing, it will be difficult for you uh, to present your views, to talk about your ideas. So work on it. So what you should do, first of all, it says do take a practice run to the location where you are having the interview. Okay. So as far as college placements are concerned, you need not to worry about this point. Why? Because the companies, recruiters, HR people, they are going to come at your college. And in that case, you need not to worry about reaching to the college, because you know, perhaps you may be staying at hostel, or you have a good idea how to reach in time to your college. Okay. So there is no question regarding if you are just preparing in college placements, then you don't consider this point. So when you have to consider this point, imagine that you're going to apply off campus. Off campus means that you're going to, let's say, any city, metropolitan cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Pune, and Bangalore. So these are some of the cities there you people are going to have an interview. So in that case, if you're going to reach to, let's say, Bangalore, and the day before you reach it in the Bangalore, but you don't know that exact location of your interview venue, and then you don't know how to reach there, you don't know what are the means of transportation to reach there, you don't know what is the condition of traffic there. And if you're going to consider that there takes 1 hour to reach, and if you considering 1 hour if you're leaving your room, then probably if you got stuck into traffic, your interview is going to be delayed, you're not going to be on time, and hurriedly if you're going to reach to your interview location, that will not be okay. So minimum 30 minutes, minimum 1 hour, you should reach to the location of your interview. And for that you can have practice run. You should reach before 1 day to the place where you are going to have interview, and from your room to the interview location, you try to see what are the means of transportation, auto rickshaw, bus, or let's say train, or whatever it may be, means of transportation are there. If they are available, what is the condition of traffic at the time of your interview or at the time you are going to travel, that all those factors you people try to consider when you people are going to face off-campus interview. Again, try to understand this is for off-campus. Off-campus means that on your own you are going to face interview, not through college. In that case, you people can think of this. Then we'll consider now next point. Next point says, if presented with a job application, do fill it out neatly, completely, and accurately. So this is also another part where you people show your personality. So sometimes what happens that if you're presenting with a job application letter, if you're writing job application letter, you will prepare it nicely. But sometimes what happens that company, they have their own job application form that you are asked to fill it out. So when you're going to fill it out, you have to fill it very carefully. There should not be mistakes. You have to fill it neatly. You should not scratch it. Once if it is written, you should not scratch it. You should not rub it. You should not use eraser. You should not do anything. Whatever you're writing, you should be write it neatly and legible. Handwriting should be legible. It should be completely filled and it should be accurately filled. Otherwise, what happens that students make mistake, then they use eraser, they use whitener, they use let's say other things like this, and it makes a shabby. So your form should not be shabby, and you have to read, first of all, read the entire form carefully, and then try to understand what exact information you have to fill at that particular column, and then you fill it carefully. There shouldn't be mistakes, spelling mistakes, writing mistakes, punctuation mistakes, or what kind of mistakes there shouldn't be. You fill it completely. I told you that if you don't know what to fill, you can take help of maybe your teachers or for there, or maybe any company staff or person who are there, you can ask them, sir, I don't know what to fill here. Will you please give me guidelines? Simply you may ask like this. And you have to fill it accurately if you're presenting with a job application later. Then we people will talk about this point. Next point, it says, do bring extra resumes to the interview. So all people need to understand that your interview is not going to happen without resumes. In fact, earlier, you people might have submitted your resumes. And what happens, many of the students or many of the candidates, they assume that I have submitted already resume. So at the time of interview, I'll not bring any copy of resume, but you shouldn't do this. What you are suggested here, that you need to bring extra 2 copies of your resumes, and that will be again in 2 forms. You need to keep your resumes in soft copy as well as printed copy as well. You can keep your soft copies to your email, to your drive, into your pen drive, whatever you have to keep the soft copy ready, and printed 2 copies you should carry with you. Though you have submitted it earlier, then also you people have to carry it with you, because at the time of interview, if you get selected and let's say they may ask you, do you have any copy of resume? That time you shouldn't say, sir, I have submitted at the time of recruitment process, and now, sir, I don't have, sir, I have not printed it, sir, I have it but in soft copy, sir, can I use your printer, sir? Something like this. So you don't give excuses there. Rather than you carry extra copies of resumes with you, minimum 2 copies you should carry with you at the time of interview. And same case with your photos also. So you need to carry passport size photos. So if you get selected, they may ask you to paste your photographs there. So in case of photo also, you keep soft copy of your photo, passport size photo, and printed photo also. These days, what students are doing, because they are ready with their smartphones, so they are just clicking selfies and they're trying to put them as a passport size photo. So you don't do this. You try to take the passport size photo from professional photographer, and then try to get its hard copy printed, and it should be passport size photo. You shouldn't give any pose, or maybe your WhatsApp profile, some Insta profile, or some what other social media profile you don't give as a passport size photo, and pose should not be there. So professional dress should be there and look should be professional. That care you people are expected to take care, and always be with that. If they ask you, please give us your passport size photo, in that case, don't say, sir, I haven't taken photos yet. Sir, can I take selfies, sir? Can I just use your printer, sir, to print photos right now? Color printout is there, sir. No, you cannot have such questions at the time of when you get selection, or if they're asking you some resumes or photos, etc. Then we people will go to the next point. It says that do greet the interviewer. I will read that much only, because next part is not applicable right now, and you don't go through it, because this situation is not favorable for shaking hands because of this pandemic or this corona situation. You're not expected to extend your hand, and it may be normal situation. Normal situation also, you do not extend your hand for shake hand. Rather than, if the recruiter, if the HR person, if the company person, they are extending their hand for shaking with you, in that case you can extend your hand for shaking. But as far as there are some etiquettes and manners that you people have to follow, until and unless they are extending their hand, you don't extend your hand. Maybe there are some, usually there are female HRs, and in case of your male candidate, you don't try to shake hand, or it may be a wrong and awkward behavior, misbehavior could be. So don't try to shake your hands with anybody. And as far as same can happen with, if the interviewer is male and female candidate, you don't try to extend your hands. So as far as in initial case, at the first time, professionally, you'll see that in the corporate world, that males and females, they can shake their hands. But as far as this is nervous mannerism, and it can be awkward situation for both of them can be. So don't try to shake your hands initially. And if they're extending their hands, in that case, you can shake your hands. Don't feel that anything at that time if they're extending their hands. But in first point, you people have to greet your interviewer. And at the as per the time of the day, let's say if it is morning, let's say good morning, sir. If it is afternoon, you people have to say good afternoon, sir, or madam, or something, whatever it may be. Good evening, sir, madam, something like this. So people have to use greet the interviewer as per the time of the day. So this care you people will take care, but don't go for this. Okay, then we'll go to the next point. And next point says that do wait until you are offered a chair before sitting. Here also you can imagine a situation that you're outside the waiting room of interview and now it is your turn. So you're knocking on the door and you're asking, may come in, sir, may come in, ma'am, and then they're saying yes, please come in, and you're walking towards the your chair. So already chair is placed there. So you don't directly enter into the room and go and sit in the chair. This is bad manners for etiquettes also. So people have to reach there and you have to stand in front of there and first of all greet the interviewer. Okay, so you're saying good morning, sir, good afternoon, sir, and you're waiting there. You're not sitting on the chair, and then they'll understand that you're waiting for their just let's say your permission. That so therefore they'll say please have a seat or take your seat, something like this. And when they'll say then take the seat and then thank the interviewer for giving you seat for interview. Okay, so this way you people have to do. So don't go directly walking and you're walking briskly and you're sitting there, and maybe sometimes you are sometimes water bottle is kept there and you're taking up that water bottle and drinking some water from that bottle or glass, something like this. So how odd it will be. It will be a bad mannerism. So I think that nobody is going to do, but there are some situations that may happen it. So only people just try to follow these things. So until chair is not given, you don't sit in the chair. And when you sit in the chair, you have to sit straight. Already we have discussed, you have to sit straight. And if you are carrying with, let's say, maybe a backpack with you or briefcase is there, or let's say you have file in your hand. So sometimes there is problem that where to keep that briefcase or let's say your sack or maybe a file. So if it is with you, you can keep it outside the interview room. If it is bag of your bag, you can keep it. Not necessarily you need to bring inside the interview room. Or let's say if you're bringing it, you can keep it side of the chair. And if there is file in your hand, you need not to keep that file in your hand. You can keep this file on the table. Okay, and hands, you don't put your hands on the table. You don't take you don't lean on the table, or you have to sit straight, and you can keep your hands on your palm, sorry, you can keep your palms on your thighs. So that way you people have to sit it. So this care people have to take care as far as you people are going to face the interviews. Okay, so are you getting it? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me check now other students also if they are online or whether they are paying attention. So this time I will ask roll number 69, Aditya, are you paying attention?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Shivaji, roll number 48. Is it audible, Shivaji? Are you paying attention?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all
Yes,
right.
sir.
So let me ask Aniruddha, roll number 37, Aniruddha. Are you paying attention, Aniruddha? Are you online? So otherwise, I'm going to remove you from the meeting if you're not going to reply. Then let me check. Siley, roll number 35. Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So let me say Ankita, roll number 40.
Yes, sir.
Then roll number 70, Shilpa.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So I think that only Aniruddha, you are not responding. So I'm going to remove you from the meeting. If it is audible to you, you can send me into chat box also. If you're paying attention, if you're listening. Is it audible you? Roll number 37. So you will be removed. Okay, all right. So we people will go to the next slide, and on next slides again we people have some do's also. So let's try to understand again. So do make good eye contact with your interviewers. Now I will not spend much time because I have already told you that when you maintain eye contact, what does it mean? And when you don't make an eye contact, what does it mean? In fact, in every communication situation, not only at the time of interview only, you try to maintain eye contact, but when you people are trying to communicate, let's say with your teachers, with your, let's say, friends, with your classmates, with your family members, with your neighbors, with every time in communication, you people try to make eye contact, and then you people will feel different experience. When you maintain a contact, that time people will behave properly with you, and they may understand you in a better way when you people were maintaining eye contact. And when you are not maintaining eye contact, they may take you otherwise also. So take care and maintain a contact in each and every communication. But as far as professionally, at the time of work, I will suggest that when you communicate with your boss, when you communicate with your colleagues, when you communicate into group discussion or at the time of interview, you people have to maintain eye contact, because this shows a lot of information about you. You're not saying a single word, but only maybe you're not going to speak much verbally or with the help of words, but a lot can be conveyed when you maintain eye contact. So maintain eye contact with your interviewers, or if it is single, with him or her. Then next people will talk about this point. It says, do show enthusiasm in the position and the company. This is also very important. So what does it mean to show enthusiasm? You should show that you are eager, excited, enthusiastic, energetic to work with this company, to work in at this post. Simply, if otherwise you're just showing that there is no any kind of let's say cheerfulness on your face, you're not carrying a smile on your face, and your face shows, your body language shows that you're sad, nervous, and you're not happy, and there is no any eagerness. So your personality will tell a lot. So you just try to show enthusiasm through your communication, through your words, and through your smile, and through your body language, that you can show that you're enthusiastic, you're eager, you are just ready, you're happy to work with this company, to work with this post, and you'll really enjoy working with this organization. That has to be shown through your body language. So enthusiasm is not a kind that you can show. So look at, this is my enthusiasm. You cannot show like this enthusiasm, but through your talking and through your communication, you can prove that you're enthusiastic, you're eager, you are energetic. So energy has to be felt. Okay, you people try to bring it in your comedy. Try to learn how to talk with such enthusiasm, how to be energetic, how to show positivity, and something like this. So while talking, while answering to the questions, be frank, be normal, and naturally you try to communicate, and that will help you to show your enthusiasm. Your facial expressions and smile on your face will convey that you are really wanted to work with this post. Then we'll go to the next point on this slide, and it says that to make sure that your good points come across to the interviewer in a factual, sincere manner. So it is a course. When you people are just facing an interview, it is a course that one after another, one after another. It is a kind of layer that you people are going to open in front of the interviewer, and it should be through a discussion. Interview should be a kind of discussion again. It should not be like that a typical question is there and you're answering typically. So try to be a storyteller. I always say that you need to be a storyteller, because everybody likes to listen stories. And when you people just try to convert it into with your personal experience, you're sharing your personal experiences, you are sharing your anecdotes, or you're telling in the form of, let's say, stories, and then the people can just try to bring it what you are good in. Let's say you are good in let's say drawing, or you're good in just coding, or you're good in something, whatever maybe. It's a skill. It's, let's say, your strength you try to bring in front of the interviewer, or try to focus on that, so that questions maybe come to you on that part only. Because if the questions are coming on your strength, I'm sure that you're able to answer those questions. But let's say if your interview is trying to ask you a difficult question which can be on your weaknesses, in that case it will be difficult for you to face such questions. So try to bring your good points throughout the interview, and that has to be, again, as I told you, that it should be through a kind of discussion, not just question answer session, but you are just telling some things through your all experiences. Try to be I just told you that narrate any experience of your school, any college, your personal life, and something like this. The people can relate, try to relate it with that question's answer, or just try to be justifiable with that answer. So that sounds good. Only answering the question is not sufficient. Try to give it personal touch of your experiences and anecdotes with you. Again, that next point also says to stress your achievements. This is also very important, that let's imagine that throughout your 4 years academics, what are your achievements? What could be your achievements? Achievements like that you have done some course, short-term course of 3 months, 6 months. You might have attended some trainings, short-term trainings. Perhaps you might have done some certificate courses, or some let's say guest lectures you might have attended. So many achievements could be there. Or any, let's say, event or programs you might have organized, or you could be coordinator for such programs. So people try to bring such achievements. You might have done some courses on Coursera, or anything, it can be anything. You might have received some first prize, second prize. It could be your project also. Anything could be that. That could be your achievement, and you try to stress on it. You try to focus on your achievements, so that they will come to know that you're really the person who is having something, achieved something, and wanted to achieve more in your career. So that kind of way you people try to show to the interviewer. So I think that you need to work on it a lot, because it will not be in the first time you're facing interview and you are just bringing all those things. You need to take a lot of time. You need to face many more mock interviews for the same. Okay, if you're just thinking that yes, this is very useful, really interesting, and I will do this, you're just thinking only it. But actually, are you doing anything? You're not doing anything. Until and unless you're not facing question answer sessions, you're not asking the experience of the students who are in final year, who got selected into some of the companies, who get selected into, let's say, Wipro, Infosys, Accenture. Some of the companies, they are just getting selected. So you need to talk to them. You need to ask them how they prepared, what questions were asked to them, how did they answer, and how can prepare your answer, and try to face mock interviews. Always, I will say, at least if it is possible, for number of times you can face the mock interviews, or you can conduct mock interviews of your friends and ask your friend to conduct your mock interview. So this way you people just can just overcome the problems that you're facing, maybe nervousness, fear, anxiety, worry, and negative body language, etc. You can overcome with practice only. So try to work on it. So I think that that was the some points that people can think of, work of. Then people will go to the next slide and we'll talk about don'ts now. Okay, so let's try to understand what things you people have to avoid. So what do you have to avoid? Avoid controversial topics. So might be in your interview, you are going to come across with some of the topics which could be controversial. So what are controversial topics? Controversial topics are something like that. There could be two different viewpoints, and there could be some people, or there could be some group of peoples, they're supporting one's point of view, and there could be another. So in case of your case, what may happen that you are supporting one's point and that interviewer may support another point. In that case, they are going to have differences. So if there is any controversial, if it is not, then it's okay. But if there is any controversial topics, let's say that there could be that example can be people give about who are the better workers, male works better than female. So such topics are controversial because you cannot prove that males are better and you cannot prove that females are better. So such controversial topics you people can avoid to discuss in your interview. Then next, again, already we people have talked about this point, that don't ever lie. Okay, this is very important. Don't ever lie. Answer questions truthfully, frankly, and succinctly. Okay, so whatever you know, you try to tell them freely. And whatever you don't know, you try to accept it. Sir, I don't know the answer of this question. I will try to find more about this question, and then I will try such questions. And you are lying, in that case, they will immediately understand. You have to answer truthfully, frankly, and succinctly. What does it mean succinctly? You have to answer in short. You have to answer to the point. Again, you don't be irrelevant here. If the question is asked, your answer should be related to that question only. There should not be a irrelevant answer, or there should be brief answers. Again, don't try to extend it a lot. Suppose that there is one question and you're answering this same question for, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes. You're adding a lot of things there unnecessarily. If it is necessary, you can talk, but unnecessarily don't try to extend your answer. So succinctly means to the point, and short answer, brief answer, you people have to give in the interview. Then next is also very important point. It says, don't say anything negative about former colleagues, supervisors, employers, etc. Because they have nothing to do what kind of relationships you were having with your previous colleagues, or with your previous supervisor, or with your previous employer or company or organization. But they just wanted to check your mentality, your thinking, how you're thinking about your former institute. And if you're just blaming, if you're just abusing that our previous company, it was the worst company I have ever worked, or if you're saying like this, that this company was the really horrible company because they were asking us to work for 10 hours every day, or you're just saying negative about that company, or you're talking about the people as well. My colleague was not so cooperative, he's always used to make me work, he was assigning his work to me, or he was not truthful person, or it can be anything that you're talking negatively about your previous people and organization. So you shouldn't talk about this. As a fresher, you're not going to talk about any previous or company, organization, colleague, etc. But they may ask you that, well, how is your college? So in that case, you may talk negative about your college. Sir, our college was too bad college, that there was so strict rules, and the uniform was compulsory there, sir. And sir, we could not enjoy our college. Sir, our teachers were the very bad teachers, sir, and they were always giving us a lot of homework, sir. So if you're talking negative, I have already told you, they have nothing to do with your college, or they have nothing to do with your previous organization. They just wanted to check that what kind of thinking you have. If you can blame, you can talk negative about your previous institutes and colleges. They will conclude that you are sure that when they will leave their organization, you are going to talk negative about them as well. So therefore, don't talk negatively about anywhere, anytime, and with anyone. Okay, so this care you people are going to take. Don't talk negative about any of, maybe boss, maybe colleague, maybe anybody or organization. You try to take care. Talk positively about them, but don't talk negative. Then next question is also very important. Don't answer questions with a simple yes or no. This is very important. Explain whenever possible. Okay. Because see, sometimes the interviewer may ask you simple questions, and he may be asking a question, yes, no question. But while answering, you shouldn't answer only in yes or no. So let's try to take an example. Interview asks you, do you use social media? So here this question is yes, no question only. So here you shouldn't answer yes and over. So rather than, instead of just saying yes, you can say, if your answer is yes, you can say, yes, sir, I use social media because I think that it is a good platform to connect with the people, and we can post our views and ideas there, and it is really useful for up to some extent. So this could be your answer if you're yes. And if you're saying your answer is no, don't say just only no. So you can say, no, sir, I don't use social media because I think that social media is a kind of tool which wastes a lot of time, and there is hardly anything that is useful and fruitful. So I don't use social media. Something like this, people have to prepare your answers. If it is necessary to explain one sentence, you have to extend. Don't just, instead of saying yes, add one more sentence after yes. If it is no, you add one more sentence after no. Describe those things about yourself that showcase your talents, skills, and determination. And important is give example. Okay. So this is also very important that you people have to consider. That says that whenever you're talking, while answering the questions in the interview, you're just trying to focus on your talents, your strengths, Already people have discussed about you need to focus on your achievements, your talent, about your skills and the determinations as well. Suppose that you're saying that I have leadership qualities. So just saying I have leadership qualities is not sufficient. You need to give examples, sir. When I was in college, so that time we people were the having cricket team, and I was the captain of cricket team, and we have won several matches under my leadership. You can say like this. Or at college we have this event, and I was the coordinator, and I managed all the responsibilities of that event. Something like that. You people need to give examples or your experiences also, that you people have to share how you people were having the leadership qualities that you people can show. So try to answer in such a way that will showcase that what kind of person you are. Okay, so these were the some of the don'ts that you people have to follow. I think that today we people will stop here, and we people will uh, con confirm attendance, and we people will stop here. So roll number 4, are you there? Roll number 6. Roll number 9. Roll number 13. Roll number 20. '28, '29. 32, 33, 34. 37. 45, 46. 47. 50. 52, 53. 55. 59, 60, 61. 65. 67, 68. 71. Okay, so these are absent numbers. Once again, try to confirm. Roll number 4, 9, 13, 20, 28, 29, 32, 33, 34, 37, 45, 46, 47, 50, 52, 53, 55, 59, 60, 61, 65, 67, 68, and 71. If anybody is present out of
28, sir. 28.
28, you are not there. You just join. How, Akash? You are not there in the lecture. Right now, you just join. Is it like this,
Yes,
Akash?
sir. Internet problem, sir.
Internet problem. Right now, you connected it. At that time, there is no problem of internet. Only previously there was internet problem. Okay, fine. So should we stop here? Should I end this meeting from my side? Any question, difficulties, queries? You may ask me. Yes, Shubham. So I will end this meeting.